Hello guys, it's Luke out on my ride out with my Mondial 125 with my best mate Mark Sheeran on his Lexmoto Valiant 125. Now I've put this video together, just one to show you us having a bit of fun on the ride to the coast. But the question that we always get asked, or people say to us, you must be mad, you've come all this way on a 125. I'm sure some of you other people that have a 125 and do long rides must hear that quite a lot as well. So I just thought I'd show you my opinion on it. I don't know whether you know, but a 125 is more than adequate for doing the average speeds of a car. Alright, so if you're going to the coast, you're going to get there as quick as somebody in as a car is, if not quicker sometimes, depending on what sort of road you're using. Alright? Plus, it's a hell of a lot more fun. And we all know, I mean, I was speaking to a couple of bikers at a bike cafe halfway there. They were saying it's all about the noise. At the end of the day, you can't do illegal limits, especially on roads like this, the Flamborough, Brid and Scarborough, because there's just police all over the shop. So you can't open the taps on a bigger bike anyway. So why don't you do the 60 mile an hour national speed limit with that engine sounding like you're doing 120 miles an hour? Do you know what I mean? It's still fun, it's enjoyable, and it's all about the noise that your bike's making and you pushing it through its paces. So, as we set off and we had started having fun, as soon as we started having fun, I needed a wee, which always happens, so we ended up stopping off at York. We got to Clifford's Tower, went and had a drink, and then what we did then, just had a walk around, jumped back on his bikes, and then we set off to Flamborough. Took us about an hour from York on the back roads. And then when we started going, it was a bit of a headwind. Now, I was worried about headwinds because when you've been on a little bike, it can really slow you down. We did experience last year when I had my Lexmoto as well. Headwinds coming back from Whitby, we couldn't get above 40 mile an hour, but the bikes were brand new and they needed running in. Now Mark's was in a very strong headwind and he was easily pulling 50-60 mile an hour in strong headwinds. And so was I, but I'm on a new bike, so hopefully that should get better as the bike beds in. But what's surprising is Mark's bike is a Lexmoto Valiant with 12 horsepower, so it suggests. He has put a GS exhaust on, it is set up perfectly, I mean he does the valves and everything himself all the time. It's got a big K&N air filter on it, and it's just set up well and looked after. Now, I'm sure that bike's producing easily 14 brake horsepower, because that engine, the GS engine anyway, when they're made, did come with 14 brake horse. Now, his bike with mine, we're pulling the same sort of, we're setting off the same sort of speeds. We're pulling. I'm a bit better up hills, but it's because I've got better gearing for it. But top speed's about the same and everything else. Yet to see on mine, because obviously as I run mine in, I might find I've got an extra mile an hour or so, we'll see. Alright, but it is surprising what you can get out of these little bikes. Right, so just a few tips for all you guys that are thinking, let's go on a big ride to the coast or do a couple of 100 mile on my little 125 or even a 50. That would be great. That would be a right laugh doing it on a 50. But anyway, if you're planning on doing these bigger rides, what I like to carry with me is a tool set. Now, I don't mean one of the crap tool sets that you have under your seat. They're pointless. The only thing that's any good in there is for getting your spark plug out. But just put in there a socket set that's big enough to reduce your rear spindle for doing your chain, especially on a newer bike. Your chain will need adjusting, especially in a 200 mile run. Alright, I also take just like a little Coke bottle with about 250 ml of oil, especially on a new bike. Again, like I say, you do burn oil, and it's sometimes if you do drop below, it's nice just to top it up a little bit. Also, just carry an extra spark plug, bulb if you get stuck on a night, just things like that. Just keep it in a rucksack. So if anything does go wrong at the side of the road, a spark plug, you've only got one spark plug in these bikes, with it being a single cylinder. They do get run very hard, and sometimes they can just decide to stop working. So if you do have any problems, at least you just whip a spark plug out, put it in, and off you go. You don't have to wait an hour in the cold, waiting for the RAC or anybody else to come and get you. If you get a punch or anything like that, then you can get punch repair kits, but sometimes it is just better to ring the RAC. Alright, but that's what I do for carrying my what I carry with me when I go on longer rides. and I also am a member of the green flag as well, so I'm covered for whatever happens. Okay, so if you are planning a ride, just make sure that you've got everything you need. Right guys, so pre-flight checks, one of them things that I know a lot of people don't do. If you're nipping around town and stuff, then fair enough, but when you're going on a bigger ride, just make sure everything's working, alright? When you're at home, before you set off to the garage to fill up a fuel, just check your lights, check your chain tension, check, you know, your oil level. Just make sure that that bike's not going to cause you any problems when you're out on your ride, alright? When you get to the petrol station, fill up a fuel, fill it to the brim, alright? Then what I like to do is just check the tyre pressures, just make sure your tyre pressures are perfect, make sure everything is as it should, and I always clean the bike before I set off, alright? Or I've cleaned it when I've put it away, but I'll check it over and make sure there's nothing come loose or anything before I set off, alright? And then when I get home, especially after this ride, because it was quite damp when we set off on the morning, this bike was caked in mud underneath, so as soon as I got home, I hosed it down, sprayed it with like some muck off or whatever you want to call it. TFR is a good one, and it just, the muck falls off. Give it a good clean, go around, I polish all my spokes. I'm a bit anal like that, I like to have a clean bike, but just make sure you keep on top of the cleaning, it stops any rust and everything. Put it away, and the next time you get it out, it should be fine. Alright, and if you just do that every time you go for a big ride, you shouldn't have any problems. So I'll leave you with just a couple of shots of me and Mark just riding home, and a couple of pictures at the end, and I'll see you for the next video. Catch you in a bit. Right guys, so I hope you've liked the video. It is finishing up now. Sorry for some of these roads, they are a bit boring and straight, but the next ride we are going to find some really nice roads up in the moors, where we used to go riding on those older bikes. Alright, so anyway, I'll just leave you with a couple of pictures from a couple of shots from Flamborough. Let me know what you think, anything you want me to change on the channel, just put it in the comments below. Also, on the way home, I thought I'd take a picture of my bike at a pizza shop just because it's Italian. If you like what I'm doing, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you again soon.